It's 6 o'clock. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, if all the board members had an opportunity to look at the agenda.
Yes. I move that we approve the agenda for May 14th, 2024.
And I'll second that.
With a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
And we have an agenda. Turn it over to item number 3, the Superintendent's Report.
Thank you, Board President Wiehlander, other board directors, student representatives, students, families, community members, and staff. I'll start off with my comments. Today, helped convene the superintendents here in Mason County. We got together just to see about what are some of the common issues that we have and some of the things we want to work together on. All of us are facing tighter budget constraints. Some of the things, both inflation and the number of substitutes, are really high expenses that each of the districts are experiencing. Talking about some different ways of remedying some things, so I thought that was really helpful. We also had a conversation about special education, so we're trying to locate more therapeutic services here in the county. And so it was really nice to talk about, I was able to update them some work that we're doing with the region around special education services for those students with disabilities. And so there's a lot of excitement to have providing those services here in Mason County as opposed to a long bus ride for those students at faraway other day treatment centers. So that was really good. And then we talked about professional development. Here for the Shelton School District, we are leading the way on some things about addressing behaviors and teaching social emotional learning. So I shared with them some work that we're doing to train our staff and school leaders. And so we're going to have another academy this fall. And so some of the other districts are going to send some representatives to help get their staff trained as well. So a good meeting and a lot of positive things going on, and then just wrestling down on some of the issues that we could exchange ideas on. I would like to recognize it's Teacher Appreciation Week. We cannot do this without our teachers. Last week was Teacher Appreciation Week. I just want to call it out today, since today is the board meeting. And then also the week previous to that, it was School Leaders and Nurses Day as well. Lots of really good things. I know our Executive Director of Human Resources, Tabitha Whiting, will also showcase that, but I just want to give our appreciation to our teachers. They do such wonderful work. Today, just the way I end my day is with teacher leaders from grades K through 6, and we were planning, again, our ELA, so literacy instruction, closing up on some of the celebrations this school year, and then just in preparation for next year. One of the teachers shared a really touching story of one of our students who recently moved here last year, multilingual student, didn't know how to speak English in the middle of last year, and already this year as meeting standard in reading. The student is really accelerated, a young man, 3rd grade, felt really good, and so we were talking about some ways of how we're going to replicate some of the moves that we've been working on, and what's our next steps about teaching our students that we have in front of us. So lots of excitement. And just want to close up with the nurses and our celebration for them. Really, they do a lot of work. In particular, we've had a couple incidences where we've had to dispense Narcan, including at SHS this year, and I really am thankful for the training that we have across the district. Narcan located at all of our school sites. There are 7 full kits at SHS now, and then we're moving to have Narcan at every single building at SHS, and then we already have contingency plans because it does share, obviously, the facility with OBJH, and we work with Mason County Health. Some of the questions that I've been getting lately revolve around what's going on with music here for the Shelton School District. Like the year previous. We had some questions in particular about choir and band at Shelton High School. Those are elective classes, so a master schedule, the schedule for the students each year is predicated on two things. One, kids have to have the graduation requirements. So the core classes are built out. The students obviously are placed in those particular courses to meet the graduation requirements, and then they have electives, which are also part of their pathway to graduation. Those electives are wide-ranging. We have a lot of offerings amongst the three high schools. In particular, Shelton High School, students select what those courses are, and so that's what drives which courses are offered. Very much like other districts, music during COVID took a hit. Band and choir are one of those things that do well when you're together with other students and obviously your instructor. So that's something that's not uncommon to hear to the Shelton School District. Our numbers are lower. Even from last year, we had 146 students sign up for choir, and this year we had 76. That's really just 3 sections of classes. And then band, we have 9 sections looking at that for next year for what the students signed up. A lot of other things are becoming a lot more popular, including our CTE classes, so those courses where they work usually in the trades, Health Sciences Academy, and there's a lot of jobs being created on that. I've been working with the automotive department too. It's been really nice and really good things going on there. It's a very popular class. I think the instructor has something to do with that. And so in this case, you know, the district still continues to support music instruction very much. We're actually adopting, it'll be coming to the board next month. We're getting new sheet music for K through 6, and then we have new instruments coming in for the high school, and then the older instruments will go down to the middle school and junior high. Much needed. The last time, a lot of those instruments are from 1981. For some of you who are out in the crowd, if you recall, maybe some all the way back about how old the instruments are, they might not have been upgraded since that time. So we want to do that for them. And our understanding is that we have a large number of students participating in band at OBJH. So I just think that right around the corner, we'll have more kids participating in music, for sure. I know one last announcement. So for Choice High School, they participate in a new tech network. It's really about a way of doing project-based learning. It's something very attractive to a number of our students who like to get hands-on and have an integrated curriculum, meaning that your English class might also integrate things like math and science into the coursework. We have been selected, Choices High School has been selected as a highlight school underneath the new tech network, so across the nation, do their wonderful work. And if you look at our graduation rates at Choice High School being 100% since its inception, you can really understand why that really engages our youth in project-based learning and really prepares them from college and career readiness. So congratulations to the staff, students, and leadership at Choice. So with that, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. Good stuff. All right. Item number 4, community comment. Let me read this really quick. As part of the regular school board meeting, the board welcomes community members to make public comments in person and/or by phone as conditions allow. If speaking in person, please follow the public comment procedure by signing in and stating your name and address at the podium when called by the board chair. If making comments by phone, please dial 1-253-215-8782 and enter meeting ID number 854-3386-9913. Each person is allowed 3 minutes to speak. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, the board is not allowed to discuss items that are not on the agenda. The board will direct the superintendent to follow up on any items that arise during public comment as appropriate. The board requests that all speakers use civil and appropriate comments, refrain from disrupting the business of the board. We ask that you model for our students what a respectful and inclusive community looks like. Also, there is a new microphone up there, so if you've spoken before, try to stay within 6 inches of it. It sounds really good. We did all kinds of sound checks today. It's fixed. Thank you. First up is Gwyneth Smith.
Hi, guys. My name is Gwenny Smith. I am a soon-to-be graduate of Shelton High School. I'm coming to the board today to represent the class of 2024 for our upcoming graduation, June 8th. We come before you today with a proposal that was denied by SHS School Administration. Our proposal, we were given that it would set an unachievable standard that cannot be attained. While it's simply not true, what we want would fill our hearts with hope, and we really want to petition this meaningful tribute to be passed. So what our tribute would be is to honor the memory of our beloved classmate who lost his life his freshman year, or our freshman year. Toa brought smiles to our faces and happiness to our days, and there has been a huge hole in our hearts, I guess, without him. And I think I speak for everyone here that we feel hurt and unheard and just thrown to the side. Like, I want to remind everyone that this isn't administration's graduation, this is our graduation. And I also have 70+ signatures of 2024 graduates signed right here that I'm willing to copy and send into district at any time. So overall, we ask you as the board to approve the class of 2024 with the opportunity to honor Toa at graduation. The way we want to recognize him is by having a separate chair set up for him while family members can decorate it, and we can just, leave pictures just like many other districts across America. We would also like to give maybe a announcement of his name and a moment of silence. I think that's very reasonable, and it's just a good way for our class to connect and have this one last moment with him, because it was obviously devastating, of course. So with the 70+ signatures and the 2024 graduates signed with their hopes of Toa being recognized as well. And then I also have this small group behind me, which actually speaks volumes, because there should be 20 times more kids here, but today happens to be senior skip day, so lots of kids are out of town. So bad timing with that. But, so overall, class of 2024 would greatly appreciate a prompt response to this inclusion of including our friend in this milestone for all of us, since he should be here with us. And then for everyone who's a part of 2024, we hope you respond to us and maybe include administration, graduation coordinator, and then class of 2024 advisors, and of course the Shelton High School ASB from last year. That would be really appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you. James Phipps.
Hi, my name is James Phipps. I'm a Shelton resident. I'm here to talk to you just about the football coach situation and what we as parents in the community have gone through so far. We got told the steps that were going to be taken, the process of what this is supposed to be, the outcome, and how it's supposed to get to that where we have a coach. That wasn't followed. It got down to where there was 2 candidates. We were supposed to go as a public to go listen to them, hear how they want to coach the boys, hear their thoughts about the health of them, and how they want to run the program. And we all went to that. We all got told to scan this QR code, write in our thoughts to how we thought that they did. A lot of us did it. And from what I've heard, it was extremely unanimous. But to say the less, one coach got accepted. He got told that he got the job by 2 different people, and then it was pulled away from him shortly after that. And it doesn't make sense. I don't know if there needs to be transparency, if we need to know why. If there was something in his background check that is not allowing him to be adequate enough to teach our boys and coach our boys, why is he able to be at other schools, and how has he been at other schools? And he's been successful with what he's done. I see the extreme success rate that he would bring to Shelton and what he would bring to the table. And what doesn't make sense to me is, so his got recanted. He's not allowed to do it. We got down to 2 finalists that we had to listen to and write in reviews about. If he's not good enough, well, then why aren't we hiring the other guy? Why are we opening this whole thing back up to a whole nother process that's going to take another month like the last time? Football season's coming. I mean, this guy came with a lot of, credentials. The other guy was willing to move here, and all of a sudden it's like neither one of them are good enough. and they want to start this whole process over again. It doesn't make sense to me. You would think if the coach that got accepted had something so detrimental in his background, would he apply for other jobs? He knows he's going to get a background check. They all do. That's why, and they applied knowing that. And I just don't understand what isn't so detrimental to the other kids that he's coached, that he's teaching, that is to ours. It doesn't make sense. I just feel like we need some sort of transparency, some sort of communication, because we're putting forth the effort. We came in, spent our afternoon, listened. I mean, I thought one of the coaches did very well over the other one. I still put good remarks for both coaches, and why I put them, it's not like, and I'm probably one of the most unbiased, because I mean, I don't know either one of the coaches. So I mean, it just seems very weird that it got to the point that it got, and then all of a sudden it got taken away after we put forth the effort and we got told what was going to happen, and the steps aren't being followed. And I think a lot of people would like to understand that a little bit more. So, thank you guys.
Thank you. Angela Wiley.
Hello there, my name is Angela Wiley, and I'm actually up here tonight speaking on behalf of my son. We want to touch on the football program. James kind of just laid it out for you guys, what happened, what we were told. And then today, Mr. Kipper went into first period and told the entire class that pretty much the coach didn't pass a background check. And that was the reason they were given. And so pretty much my son wants to know why. Like, why did it even get that far? Why did we waste our time? Why are we going through this process when you guys apparently didn't do a background check to begin with, or a reference check? Not sure how that whole thing worked, but he was invested. He was excited. You know, they were told, come listen to these guys. These guys want to be your coach. These guys want to be your inspiration. They took the time to go do that. And that's something, you know, when you're in a team sport, that's what they need. And so they invested the time just to be told, oh, nope, we dropped the ball. It's pretty much how it feels to him. So now his next question is, when will we have a coach? And are we going to have a season? Because at this point, we should already have our schedule out for the summer and what we're going to be doing with our teams, with our boys. And we don't have that. And all he wants is some answers. Thank you.
Thank you. Elise Brambila.
My name is Elise Brambila, and I live on Wyandotte. I sang in choir and was stage crew and manager for all of my time spent in high school, and also ran sound and audio for Illusions Choir. I have 2 elementary-age children with strong interest and desire to participate in the performing arts. Your decision regarding the programs, to me, is unacceptable. Your decision to scale back and proceed down the slippery slope of cutting programs made available at our schools is directly contributing to the creation of an underserved community. You, as our school board, should be the first ones to sound the alarm to the community that this was at risk of happening. You should be looking for every possible way to work together with your community to provide the most basic level of opportunities to your students. My son would have been one of the very first in line to join band at the middle school level, and this is now an opportunity that has been taken away from him. This is a fundamental learning opportunity necessary for fostering and creating the foundational skills needed for participation at higher levels, and is also what creates forward momentum and growth within these programs district-wide. Students should be able to have fun, interest-led choices that contribute to becoming well-rounded members of society. Students need to have the chance to be bitten by the bug of performing arts to even know it's something they love to do. I won't waste my time explaining the overwhelming evidence that participation in these programs has a positive effect on academic achievement. It's been pointed out before. I want my children to have the choices I had and to be able to be a part of what created deep and meaningful moments and relationships in my life. I will vote and show up where necessary to continue addressing this problem that's been created. I hope that you can show up for your community and kids and expand the programs. Bring back band for middle schoolers, offer more choir classes, musical theater, and drama. Create a school students actually want to be at and can choose to be in with their schedules. As community members yourselves, you have chosen to take on very public-facing jobs. These jobs should be held to a high standard. More should be expected of you. To directly quote Mr. Holland's opus, your best is not good enough. I hope we collectively can agree that we want to do and be better, and that we will not adopt the apathetic attitude towards the loss of our music programs that has so widely spread. Let our community and school culture be the exception. I believe, and again, there's evidence to show, that being involved in music and arts programs develops compassion and empathy for others, something I'd hope we can all agree we need more of. Our schools are a reflection of our community at large, but the priorities, investments, and the culture of our schools needs to be focused on the needs of our students first, not the adult wants and needs of the community. Do not just sit idly by and agree with that statement in principle, but instead agree with it in practice.
Thank you. Bradley Mortensen.
My name is Bradley Mortenson. I live in Bayshore community. I graduated Shelton High School in 2009. Let me start out by saying that the value of performing arts in schools cannot be measured in mere numbers or budgets. I had the opportunity to explore music at a young age, which blossomed into a love for percussion, performing arts, and an outlet for creativity. While in school, mind you, not before or after, I learned the art of communication, how to successfully collaborate with my peers, and most importantly, the strength of emotional intelligence. Speaking in front of a large audience, let alone my community and my school board, is a skill that takes practice. Comfort in expressing myself to a group simply wasn't picked up in a desk or on a field. Performing on stage gave me the confidence to speak in situations like this and at much greater scale throughout my career. Music was a critical way for me to learn while in school how to play well with others. I learned how to make literal music on beat and in key with people from much different backgrounds than myself, all coming together to perform one piece of music. Again, a skill that's been critical throughout my career. Lastly, emotional intelligence. Learning how to play, create, and produce music together had a direct effect on me being able to understand others' emotions as well as my own. A critical skill that can be incredibly difficult to teach. Research backs this up, and while this is a hard one to explain, what I do know is that I'm called on a daily basis to perceive, evaluate, and respond to the emotions of others to make precise business decisions. Speaking of careers, not to toot my own horn, pun intended, I've had the opportunity to launch digital marketplaces, manage global teams, and build many successful partnership initiatives, affecting much more than the bottom line of businesses. I'm currently a director of partnerships at a tech company that focuses on the management of virtual reality headsets. All the skills that I was able to pick up while in school contribute to the success in my career today. By limiting opportunities for performing arts during the school day, we risk creating a generation with limited empathy, innovation, and the ability to think outside of the proverbial box, let alone communicate effectively. Instead of undervaluing performing arts and limiting opportunities for students to learn in unique ways, let us instead champion these programs at a young age, grade school, middle school, and high school, as they are foundations for the next generations of leaders, thinkers, and dreamers. And in the 30 seconds that I have left, I'm a father of 2 daughters. They're 2 and 4 right now. I have the opportunity to work from home. We have the ability to live anywhere where we want, and we decided to come back. I spent 18 years of my life planning to leave Shelton and never return, and made the very difficult decision to come back. I want to have pride in the school that we put our daughters into, and I want them to have the exact same opportunities that I have and more as they enter into school age. So please consider prioritizing performing arts.
Thank you. Cedar Mortensen? Did I pronounce that right? Oh.
My name is Cedar Mortensson. I'm an alumni of Shelton High School and a former employee of Shelton School District. I'm also a mother of 2 young girls. I'm here to strongly urge you to reconsider cutting music programs from our students' curriculum. I had to seriously ask myself, what will you actually listen to, and what will actually spur change from you in these very short minutes I have here? Is it former students saying how important these programs were to them? I am one. Is it a former employee noting the impacts that these programs have had on my former students? I am one. Is it a parent whose hope and expectation for my girls' public education is to have equal opportunity for meaningful, varied learning experiences across all subjects? That's me, a mom of a 2- and 4-year-old who I will be saddened to have not be a part of your school district if they can't be a part of, and so that they can be a part of these programs elsewhere. We really don't want to do that, but we definitely will if these opportunities are not afforded to them starting at a young age. Physical education is a very important part of education, as is participation in sports. I was a basketball player and had many hopes and dreams to play in college if I could have. I injured myself my freshman year of high school, which was a life-changing experience for me. Music saved me. If it weren't for these opportunities like musical theater and choir, I'm not sure what I would have done or how my mental health could have been impacted. Because of experiences I had in elementary school, getting to participate in choirs and theater performances, and then watching high school theater and music performances when I was in middle school, I knew it was something that was of interest to me, and I took a leap of faith to join in high school. I know my life would not be the same without these meaningful experiences. I found some of my best friends and a community, self-confidence, and interpersonal skills. My music education experiences, I believe, are what put me ahead in my college admissions to the University of Washington and in my application for a very competitive job as a resident advisor during my time there. I was a paraeducator in your district for a number of years and had the wonderful opportunity to work with many students, the majority of which had special needs. Several of my students were involved in music, and I know that without these opportunities, their life would not be the same. Music was the one thing that they could participate in. Stealing away these opportunities from these students especially is heartbreaking. Why do you serve on the school board? Is it to be a voice to help our community for the better? Do you actually think that cutting these programs, you're making the community a better place? Seriously, ask yourself that. If your hands are tied and you truly don't have the money for these programs, then where is your sorrow for that? Where are the signs and articles in the paper written by you asking for your community, like me, to come together in any way to help save them? If you do actually care and feel there's nothing else that you can do, then let's see that. Let us all join together and help them survive. Allow us, your community, to work with you to find solutions. Let us sit down at the table and brainstorm ideas and ways to help to save these programs. The next time you turn on the radio or put on headphones, I hope you think about how the art that you are so privileged to be a recipient of was inspired. Could it have been as a result of one class, one concert, one amazing music teacher that spurred that artist on to create the amazing music you indulge in? What if you didn't have that? How would your life be without music?
Amber Hosford?
Hello, good evening. Mr. Jesse got to hear first and got to speak, but I'm here on behalf of Cedar High School. My name is Amber Hosford, and I'm the principal of Cedar High School. So last Friday, we just received some exciting news that I couldn't wait to share with you guys and the community. As you may know, Cedar High School has been working with the New Tech Network to co-design and implement strategies in achieving college and career readiness outcomes, a supportive and inclusive culture, meaningful and equitable instruction, and purposeful assessments. We are pleased to share that because of our efforts, our school has earned the distinction of a Spotlight School. What that means is that there will be site visits from other schools and other who are interested in learning from us on what the New Tech Network and our model school can do. In addition, we will be featured on the New Tech website in the Spotlight School section. We will receive a really cool banner that we get to hang up. And they will also post information on their social media. So we look forward to continuing this work while implementing the district's vision and our vision of Cedar High School to meet the needs and dreams of our Cedar students and families. So we were both surprised and proud, so I just really wanted to come here tonight and share some really good news about what's going on at Cedar. So thank you.
Thank you. Jessica Brissett.
Good evening. My name is Jessica, and I live here in Shelton. Can you hear me? I'm here to talk about the notifications to parents. So usually as an employee, when I'm late or not showing up to work, then I'm notified within an hour, And when my child doesn't show up to school or she happens to miss class, I'm not notified until 15:30 in the afternoon. So she could have left at 8:30 right after she got off the bus. I don't know. So I'm just curious as to why parents aren't being notified that our child's not where they're supposed to be until the end of the day. That's safety. And then secondly, parents aren't notified when buses aren't running. So there's been multiple times, or I'm not notified, I've updated everything. There's been multiple times my child goes out there to the bus stop, she's out there hanging out, and then texts me, is the bus coming? And I have to go to Facebook, go to the Mason County Transit page, scroll through, oh no, sorry honey, you're gonna have to walk on back to the house. I feel like there should be a phone tree, a generic message that is sent out to the parents. We all sign up for this. The district has our personal information to get the information to us in a timely manner, and that hasn't been happening. That's a problem. Secondly, or third, OBJH, there was an arrest on May 2nd. Parents were notified almost immediately. 13:57, I believe, is what my email said. And then come Tuesday, the following Tuesday, there was a lockdown that happened. Parents weren't notified of the lockdown until a Facebook post was made around 14:30, and then at around 15:30, we received an email saying, hey, there was a lockdown. The problem is the lockdown happened at around 1300. So that's a lot of time for error. Parents should have been notified almost immediately, as we were when the arrest was made. There's a lot of issues, and I feel like the district, the school, is not communicating with the parents in a manner that they should. And I'm hoping we can fix it. Thank you.
Thank you. And to clarify, 1300 is 1 o'clock. Just, not everybody speaks military. Julie Smith?
Hi, my name is Julie Smith. I am a resident of Shelton, and I'm the mother of a senior, class of 2024, Gwenny Smith. First of all, I wanted to say that I'm really proud of you guys for speaking up and advocating on something so important to your class of 2024. For those of you that didn't have the pleasure of knowing Toa, it's a loss in itself just knowing that you never knew him like these kids did. Toa may have passed tragically, but in his short lifetime here with us, he made a forever lasting impression on his classmates, and all they want to do is honor him in the big way that not only he deserves, but his classmates deserve. You see, Toa passed in the beginning of COVID when no one was allowed to go anywhere, not even to a funeral. They never got to honor him and heal together as a class. They all had to grieve the shocking loss of a beloved classmate by themselves. For most of them, Toa's death was the first experience with death they ever had to try and process. They're simply asking for a chair set aside in honor of their loved one and a mention of his name. This is absolutely not an unattainable feat. Many school graduations across the nation do the same thing yearly. It has also been done here at Shelton High School graduation in years past. Please, I urge you to approve this request. Also, please keep in mind that if this has something to do with protocol, which I don't think it does, considering we have honored loved ones and lost in the past, then it's time we make a change to that protocol. Please use your vote to speak for your community members and your district's class of 2024. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Lamarr Rogers?
I'm Lamarr Rogers, and you have my information. Due to the current litigation that the school is under, I want to encourage training, very clear training to all of your staff on what is required with mandatory reporting. Thank you very much. I'm turning the rest of my time over to Melissa Upson.
Hi, my name is Melissa Upson. I reside at 390 West Green Forest Drive in Shelton. On Thursday, May 9th, Carrie Nagel was offered the position of the head football coach at Shelton High School, following the completion of background checks and several hours of interviews. Later that same day, that offer was rescinded. I am here to ask the school board directors and Board President Wielander specifically to investigate whether the offer was rescinded as a result of a last-minute phone call between our superintendent and the superintendent of Tenino School District. If that call between the two superintendents did occur, and the result of the conversation was our superintendent instructing admin to rescind the offer of head coach, I would ask the school board directors to investigate the content of that call, the source of that call, and also the reason the call occurred. It is atypical in our hiring process here for a superintendent to call another superintendent for a reference, especially in the case of a coaching position. I would be curious to know why Superintendent Jesse felt compelled to call Coach Nagel's former superintendent if that did indeed occur. I'm going to address the situation that may be related to or be the entire content of the call in question regarding how funds for football were raised and allocated in the Tenino School District. I've spoken with Joseph Churhart, the athletic director who worked with Coach Nagel during his time at Tenino School District. Joseph is now the athletic director and head basketball coach at Centralia College. He explained to me that the Tenino High School football program ran a camp every year, which raised several $1,000s. Those funds were collected by Tenino School District administrative employees, never coaches, including Coach Nagel. The athletic director oversaw, planned, and helped to execute these camps for several years, and the funds raised were donated to Tenino School District, earmarked for athletics and football needs. When the new superintendent was hired on, he did not feel this process of raising and allocating funds was ideal, and the AD, Coach Nagel, and superintendent had disagreements regarding what was left from funds raised specifically for the football program and athletics, resulting in the superintendent charging fees to its own football program for use of the field, facilities, and anything related to them playing or practicing football. This is an atypical practice of any school and likely the result of that superintendent trying to find a way to allocate funds back to the school district that he did not feel were appropriate for the football program to otherwise utilize. As a result of feeling confused about where... I'm up next on the thing, I think.
Go ahead.
Is it starting over at 3?
I don't know. Nobody's ever done it in this particular order before.
Okay. As a result of feeling confused about where the football camp fundraising dollars had been spent, Coach Nagel did submit a public records request involving the superintendent and school district in an effort to come to a clearer understanding. Having not received the full disclosure he requested and realizing a superintendent or district was withholding information, Coach Nagel resigned and moved on. None of this ever made the newspaper or social media or local media. The only thing that you can see when you research Coach Nagel is how dearly he was loved by students, athletes, and staff within the Tenino School District. You can see how sad the community was to lose him and see how grateful they were for the time he dedicated to their students. What the board should also know is that around the time Carrie Nagel left the Tenino School District, 15 other Tenino School District employees did too. I have an article up here with me that I will leave behind
from the Chronicle titled "Wave of Resignations at Tenino School Raises Red Flag for Some Parents and Staff." The article references the hire of the superintendent and departure of several well-respected, valued staff, including Carrie Nagel and the athletic director at the time. The executive director of finance also left the district during that time and is now a superintendent elsewhere. So if the superintendent of Tenino School District did provide a negative reference for Coach Nagel to our superintendent, maybe regarding a potential financial concern, it was likely in reference to the fundraising I mentioned before, an allocation. If that was the case, I would ask that the source of this information, the superintendent of Tenino School District, be very thoroughly investigated. I have documentation with me that I will leave behind as well, in which the Tenino School District superintendent is named as a defendant in a lawsuit filed against him in his former school district, which he is accused of defamation of character and retaliation. He is named in the lawsuit as specifically having accused a member of his administration of discrimination in retaliation to her accusing him of discrimination. His accusation was determined to be unfounded. He is named as a defendant in the lawsuit as having retaliated against an employee, placing her on administrative leave following her accusations. I am asking that the Shelton School Board directors investigate whether the last and final source of the decision on whether to hire Coach Nagel is the result of a call between our superintendent and Coach Nagel's former superintendent. The superintendent that Coach Nagel pursued public requests on. The superintendent who was named as a defendant in a lawsuit settled out of court where he is specifically accused of retaliation and defamation. I am also asking the Shelton School Board directors to investigate how this potential phone call at the last minute came to be after Coach Nagel had been thoroughly vetted and interviewed with background checks that he did pass, so the notion that there was a background check he failed is untrue, and then was offered the position of head football coach. Coach Nagel has never been convicted of a crime or reprimanded by a school district for inappropriate behavior, has passed background checks, and has dozens of glowing references. Something is not right, something is being covered up again, and I am asking the board to please try to uncover the truth and consider whether it was the right decision to rescind the offer for Carrie Nagel to be our head coach here at Shelton High School.
Thank you. Aaron Leth.
Turning my time over to my son, Hunter Leth, and his football buddies.
My name is Hunter Leth, and I'm a junior at SHS. I'm here to ask why you invited my teammates and I, along with our families, to listen to the Coach Forum for your 2 finalists if you didn't plan to listen to our input. I busted my butt on the SHS football field for 3 years now, and I don't want to see the program fail due to the fact that you guys will not hire a new coach. So I ask you, what is your plan? Thank you.
Thank you. Desiree Leth.
Desiree Leth, 181 East Balmoral Way, Shelton, Washington. So I'm also here, you've kind of heard some of it, but just to express my disappointment in the superintendent's decision to rescind Coach Nagel's offer. I guess I'm just frustrated that we took time, brought all of our boys, listened to these 2 coaches, took time out of our evenings to go, and then to find out that it didn't do any good. So I guess my question is just, sorry, my brain is not working. My question is, when are we going to put the kids first? You bring all these kids in, you ask their opinions. Talking to my son and all of his friends, they all felt pumped up listening to Nagel. It seemed like he was going to bring some pride back to Shelton. They've literally been busting their butts. I know my boys, Hunter for 3 years, busting his butt out there. I mean, there were nights he came off the field after getting his butt kicked at Tumwater, and his football coach is in watching a volleyball game instead of supporting his team. He never said a thing. He showed up every day, worked hard, and it's just been like problem after problem. So I guess I'm just asking, when are you guys going to put the kids first? Like, hire a coach that is here to do good for the kids, not some guy that sells real estate or someone in town that, wants to relive his 1985 dreams. Hire someone that's here for our kids and wants to do better. And I feel like Coach Nagel was that person. So I just hope that you look into that and make sure that there's not something fishy going on, because it seems that way to a lot of people. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, do we have anybody calling again? Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else? Okay.
My name is Jim Good. I'm a former head football coach, coached in Montana. Got a chance to throw the ball a lot, and when I got here, had a chance to meet Mr. Nagel, Kerry Nagel. Amazing gentleman, and the conversations that we started having between him and I were talking about how to put the program together. And I've been at a lot of programs, and when I spoke with Coach and I worked with him, I was just amazed. But his dream was to come back here and get back to the community where he's from. I had a conversation with him on the phone, and when he got the job, he called me first. He said, Jim, he goes, I can put this program together. It's blue collar. It's much like Montana. It's, man, the parents are there, and he was so psyched. But he has the ability to draw, I mean, a lot of coaches with him that believe in him, because we see, and I'm not much, you know, I know what type of man he is, and I'm telling you, he was in this program. His heart was here. And to hear when he called me back and said that they pulled it back, it just shocked me. I mean, it broke, because I saw what it did to him. But not only him, but there are so many coaches that are willing to, I mean, knowledgeable coaches. We don't play football. This is our life. We move from state to state. This is what we do, and we change kids' lives. And he wanted to bring that here. And I'm just asking, you don't know me you don't know me, but I'm just, as an outsider, you know, please look into what happened, because it's not right. It's not right, and I know for a fact you're not going to find a better, not in this town. You're not going to find a better coach than him. You're just not. And when we talk about putting a program together, we don't talk about X's and O's, because everybody knows X's and O's. We know football. But we talk about, man, what do you do about the young kid that's no good? What do you do about the parent that doesn't have, you know, a husband, or there's not a father in the kid's life? How do we put a program to help that kid? And those are the conversations Carrie and I have. You know, my son's sitting right here, and changed his life. And all I'm asking is just please find out what happened. How do you go from hiring this great coach to instantly crushing him? Please.
Thank you. On to item number 5, reports and recognitions. Take a report from the student school board representatives. We'll start with Aiden Ober from Cedar High School.
Today and Thursday, our sophomores did their math state testing, and last week our juniors did their science testing. And on May 30th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., we're hosting our second and final Experience Cedar Project Showcase, where students will show off a project they're proud of from their choosing from either this trimester or second trimester. On Thursday, our Envirothon team is heading to Camp Wooten for their next competition. Our Cedar ambassadors are going through another round of mediation training next Wednesday. And last week, we had a handful of students attend the Mason County Substance Abuse Prevention Summit.
Thank you. And Abigail Hurst from Shelton High School.
National Honor Society took their annual Mariners trip last Friday. AP testing has currently been taking place both today and yesterday. 2024 and 2025 school year ASB officers have just been elected. Allison Philpott as president, Lane Stoney as vice president, Izzy Macias as secretary, Andrea Fogo as treasurer, Malia as communications manager, Joshua Lockhart as Shelton High School representative, and then I'll still be the school board representative. Senior awards are happening this Friday at 7 p.m. Native Button Award ceremony is happening this Friday at 6 p.m.
Okay.
I think the senior awards, is it Thursday?
Yeah, it's Thursday.
Okay.
I have that in there, but I actually said Friday.
Because I know I'm supposed to be there for that. I just
Yeah,
want to make
that's
sure.
Thursday.
Okay. Thank you, Abigail.
So awards Thursday, buttons Friday.
I believe so. That's what I was told.
All right, cool. Thank you. Item 5.02, recognition of Principal Appreciation Day on May 1st, Teacher Appreciation Week on May 6th through 10th, and National School Nurses Day on May 8th by Tabitha Whitting.
Good evening, Board. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to spend a few minutes recognizing some of the staff here in Shelton School District. We're going to begin with our principals because that started on May 1st. So on May 1st, we were privileged to recognize and celebrate all of our amazing principals. Being a principal is not for the faint of heart. They shoulder the operational burdens of a school, which includes so many moving parts that we would be here all night if I listed them all. Most importantly, though, beyond managing a budget, mentoring teachers, attending after-school events, and all of the other things they juggle on a daily basis, they serve as the pillar of their school, the glue that holds everything together. They are the staff's rock in hard times and the students' advocates all the time. Research tells us that who the principal is can strongly influence how often a student is absent or suspended, how likely a teacher is to stay in a school for another year, and how academically successful students are. I am grateful that we have a staff of principals who are impacting those things in a positive manner. With that said, I want to thank all of our principals for everything that they do. They are valued and appreciated, and we are glad that they have chosen Shelton School District as their home. So then we will move on to our teachers. That was last week, as Mr. Jesse stated. So teaching is one of those unique professions that most people don't just stumble into. It's a calling that many people feel from a young age. It could be influenced by their own teachers who served as a trusted adult and who they attribute many of their successes to. It is often a family calling, with generations of family members educating the children within their community. Whatever the reason, anyone who works in education will tell you that it is not easy to be a teacher. The hours are long and the work is hard. However, they will all usually also tell you that it's worth it. Moments such as watching a student have that aha moment in the classroom, watching a student who has had all the odds against them get accepted into their dream university, and watching a student read aloud confidently for the first time in front of their peers grounds teachers in their work. They are reminded in those moments of why they were called to teaching, and they use those moments to grind through those long hours and those long days. I fundamentally believe that educating children is the most important thing that we do as a society, and I give a very heartfelt thanks to all of our teachers here in Shelton who make that happen in the classroom every day. And then we will move on to our nurses. So last but certainly not least, I get to recognize our school nurses. Our school nurses serve our students' needs in a way that ensures students are safe and healthy, and often ensure that some of our students have access to learning in a school building. This ranges from handing out another bag of ice to a young student who needs a little more adult attention that day, to developing and implementing complex health plans for some of our medically fragile students. Our nurses ensure that some of our students' basic needs are met, which means they can engage in learning. Without our nurses, many students would not be able to attend school regularly, which means that they are a fundamental part of our school team. We appreciate all the work our nurses do, both on the front lines and behind the scenes, to ensure our students are able and ready to engage in learning every day. Thank you, nurses, for all you do.
Thank you. And that takes us up to item number 6, the consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look at it?
I motion to approve this evening's consent agenda.
And I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Number 7, discussion and action items. 7.01, proposed resolution number 2402, delegation of authority to the WIAA for the 2024-25 school year by Mr. Jesse.
Thank you. Yes, this is the first reading and recommended approval this evening. It's part of an annual process in which school districts enter into agreement with the Washington Interscholastic Activities Association for each school year because they are obviously our WIA has their own rules and regulations that we have to follow, and they have their own governing body and oversight. So we obviously pay a fee to WIA. This is part of that agreement. Obviously, they take care of officiating, some of the, obviously keeping care of all of the things that WIA has to have oversight, including any violations at WIA, which I do receive notifications when we do, and there's write-ups for, again, so there's the tie-in between WIA and the Shelton School District. So this evening, I would recommend for approval that we pass this particular resolution 2402 so that we can continue to operate underneath WIA, their rules and regulations, and of course, the relations between WIA and the Shelton School District.
And this is the same resolution we pass every year. So if I could get a motion.
I have a question first. Are there any changes and updates to this policy from last year?
No.
Okay.
Any other questions?
If you don't participate in this, you don't participate in a league in a school, is that correct?
I've never known a district to not
Okay.
follow and abide by, and sign on for WIA.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I move that we approve proposed resolution number 2402, delegating authority to the WIAA for the 2024-25 school year.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Resolution 24-002 is passed. .02, proposed policy, revised policy number 6600, transportation. Ms. Trogstad.
Good evening. As you know, we've been updating a lot of our school board policies. So tonight I'm bringing forward the transportation policy. The major change was in the WASDA policy with some new laws that were passed. So as you'll see, there's a paragraph there relating to transportation. Otherwise, it was just grammar errors that we needed to have fixed. So tonight's the first reading. So I'm here to answer any questions. I also have our interim director of transportation, Delphi Gardner, here with me in case I can't answer something. So does anyone have any questions?
Go ahead.
Okay, it says students must be enrolled within Shelton School District, then it's lined out. So that's not a requirement.
Not technically. You have your McKinney-Vento students that we sometimes have to transport to other districts if they're living here in the district. We've transported them to Bremerton before, so it's not technically students enrolled within Shelton School District.
Okay, and so this, where it says the first paragraph, I would like to maybe if you put the RCW in there that pertains to that, because when I was reading this, I had to get clear to the end of it, and then I found the RCW.
Okay. Which paragraph was that again?
At the request of eligible students.
Oh, okay.
And district per RCW 28A. Because you have all these RCWs in the rest of the paragraph. And so, is there a place for babies, like a daycare or something in the high school to go to? I know
I'm
it's
gonna
a state
do my
law.
historical. Years ago, we used to have a daycare at Choice. It was funded out of some grant funds that we no longer receive. So at that time, the daycare was closed, and we have not technically looked into it. We did look into it a few years ago, but the restrictions from the state licensing were enormous, and we did not believe that we could accomplish it and adhere to their guidelines.
So we're just doing this because it's state law? To have the
Exactly,
policy
we're
in the
adhering,
books?
yeah. We have, in talking with Delphi, we have not ever had this come up with a request, so we would look at each one as they come up, if it did come up, and see what we could do, or provide the in lieu of transportation, which is in the RCW, where you either provide them reimbursement for their mileage or that type of thing.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, if there are no questions, this was just the first reading. If you want to make that change and
Thank you.
bring it back, thanks.
Can I make a quick comment just to say thank you to Delphi for jumping in and being our interim director several times? We really appreciate your help in the transportation department.
Yes, thank you. Then that brings us up to item number 8, the board member comments. And we'll start on the end with Ms. Cronquist.
Well, I'd like to congratulate Cedar and Choice High School on their recognitions they've got, and thank the community, as always, for your comments. It's really appreciated.
I too would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank the students who are here with us reporting, and those that came and comment, and the rest of the public. It's really appreciated. We like hearing your voice. I'd also like to congratulate Cedar High School on their accomplishments. I'm looking forward to those updates throughout the next year. And just a reminder that the award ceremony is on Thursday, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more as the students graduate this year. I know reading through the Drake Scholarship applications, the students are just really impressive, and it's really exciting to hear all the things they want to accomplish and surely will. So, thank you, everybody.
Director Knudsen.
Thank you for your comments tonight. It sounds like we need more communication in our district, so we're hearing that from you, and I understand. So hopefully we can work on that. I'd like to say that I attended the Shelton School District Hall of Fame last week, and we have 5 or 6 new inductees, and 4 or 5 were former teachers in Shelton, teachers and coaches, and it was such a rewarding thing to hear how they had impacted the lives of children. They were great teachers, but they also did that coaching, which means a huge commitment of time. And our students researched these people and presented beautiful presentations of their contributions to our community. And it really brought things together, our current students honoring those. And as 80-year-old Dick Wentz made it up on stage, even though he's had health setbacks, it was just amazing to think that he had transformed the wrestling program and football program here in town, and he still has that enthusiasm in his voice. And of course, if you know Dan Gagnon, Brian Fairbrother, very dedicated teachers and coaches for many, many years, as well as Cheryl Balding. So I just wanted to say we have a great community here, and that was one moment of celebrating what we have, some very dedicated people in teaching and coaching. And then on another positive note, we interviewed for our scholarship, the Drake Scholarship, and reading through 13 applications of students that were all very deserving of this scholarship, it really gave me an optimistic feel of what we're doing in the Shelton School District is good. These kids have taken advantage of their classes, some have gone to Running Start, and they have made the best of their education and have great plans for their future. I really think our CTE program, where we have that technical training, has opened up a world to some of these students, and they're motivated by working on their career at high school level. And reading through their transcripts carefully, I realized that their choice is enormous at the high school, what they have. And it's just my own philosophy. I believe in the arts, and I think it's something we need to hold on to, but I believe there are so many choices there that could further their opportunity in their life choice of their career. And maybe we're seeing a shift in high school. And I'm not saying we should do away with one, but there's a shift for those kids to see, I can take a job shadowing here, and I can take photography, and I can do these things that will lead down the road to a career. And that might mean less kids in the arts or music. So, and that's my own philosophy. Then the other thing, Teacher Appreciation Day week, I just want to shout out to teachers. After teaching for 33 years in the district, I know that there are a lot of great teachers out there, and I honor them. It's a hard job sometimes, and then the next day it's the most rewarding thing you've ever done. So I shout out to those teachers in our district and thank them for the work they do with our students. And that's all I have.
Director Davison.
Thank you all for coming tonight. I really do appreciate hearing all of the community comments. I always appreciate it when students come up here and they speak so eloquently. It's not always easy to do, and I'm always amazed at how our young people come and present things that they're concerned about as well. So thank you very much for doing that. I've taken a lot of notes. It gives me a lot of things to think about, and I agree we can always improve on communication, and we need to think through better ways to have that dialogue with our community and just improve our education, or our communication. Lauren and I attended on last Monday some professional development for school board members. There was a regional WASDA meeting that was held over at the Rainier School District. I hadn't been to Rainier for a really long time, but they hosted a number of school board members from District 5, which is where we're from, so it was all the way from Morton, Shelton, North Thurston, and they did a whole, we actually had it kicked off by the current Lieutenant Governor, Denny Heck, who spoke about civil conversations and the importance of having civil communication in a democracy. And then we went through different workshops on from conflict to conversation. And I have a number of resources that I'd be happy to share with other board members, and I know Lauren has that too. Some of these were presented at the National WASDA conference that we went to, so I'm not sure if everybody attended that, but you know, there's different elements to dignity, treating people as human beings when we're talking to them, and you know, really trying to bring the heat down in a conversation and find that commonality, because one of the things I do think that we all have in common here in Shelton is that we care very much about our students, about our kids, and about our community, and it's finding ways to work together for that. So I really appreciated that professional development. I too, on Tuesday, it was a busy week, went to the Hall of Fame ceremony, and that was truly wonderful for me. Those teachers and coaches were definitely from my era. And Cheryl Balding was my human anatomy teacher, and she did a wonderful speech about wanting to inspire kids and a love of learning in the sciences. And the Shelton the Shelton High School Science Department has always been very strong, and it definitely inspired me. I've had a whole career in healthcare, and it's been something that I just really appreciated and had the opportunity to go up and thank her for that. And then like Carla was talking about, we had multiple of those teachers who were also coaches. Coach Fairbrother talked about how he actually brought soccer to Shelton, which is just amazing to me because that doesn't seem like that long ago, but he started that, and I believe Dan Gagnon started girls basketball. And it was Fairbrother who then splintered off and had somebody else start girls soccer. So just some truly incredible teachers that took the time to care about their kids, and it's wonderful to hear different community comments about coaches that care so much about investing that time and energy into that whole part of the kid. I was very sorry to miss Choice's celebration on Friday. I believe they celebrated 40 years at Choice. I happened to be traveling down to Portland and could not make that. I'm also sorry I missed seeing the Coaches Forum in person. I was traveling back from a work trip in Dallas, Texas, but I was able to watch that, so I appreciate Mason Web TV always recording these things so that we can go back and watch those, because that was something that I wasn't able to attend to in person. On just yesterday, we did do the Drake Scholarship interviews, and as was mentioned before, we were able to listen to 5 incredible kids, and this was after reading through multiple applications and just seeing the incredible things that our students are doing despite challenges or personal struggles that they've had. Just excellent academic achievements, athletic achievements, volunteer achievements, achievements where they've gone and helped people within our community, and it made it really difficult. So we're excited on Thursday to be able to award those, but to anybody that applied, we thank you for your application and giving us the chance to read through those stories, because it's really amazing what some of our students are doing here, and we get a small glimpse of that sometimes, but this was a really special opportunity for all of us. I also want to just thank the teachers. I know we did the Teacher Appreciation Week, and principals, you have a big job, and you're on the front lines of teaching and being there for our kids, and I appreciate that. One of my very best friends from high school happens to be a school nurse, so I get to know a lot about what goes on with that, and I really do appreciate what school nurses do for our students, and whether that is just giving them something to eat and, you know, a moment in their nurse's office, to those that do very complex med management plans for students that have very serious medical needs, because that is also going on within our schools, and those nurses are amazing. Congratulations to Cedar on the new tech achievement. I'm excited about that, and I do apologize, Aiden, but I'm going to be out of town again. This is a very busy time of the year for me for work and for school, but I happen to be heading to go see my own brother's graduation on May 30th when you do that showcase, so I'm sorry to miss that this year too. But I'm looking forward to the award ceremony on Thursday, the button robe ceremony. We've got all sorts of different graduation events throughout all of the schools. Very exciting but busy time. But thank you again for coming tonight.
First of all, thank you for all the public comments. They were all, they hit their mark if you were curious. I started playing piano when I was 5 years old because my mother made me. I was in music all the way through high school and participated in at least one play while in college. I've sang in musicals. I learned instruments that were needed. I learned to play the tuba for a parade because we didn't have a tuba player, and our instructor wanted to do John Philip Sousa. But at that time, our band was actually so small that Mankey Lumber loaned us a truck. We decorated it. We sat on the flatbed, and that was how we went through the parade. We had 12 people left in our entire band. We had 300 people in choir, and so with my involvement in music and the arts over the years, to see the dwindling enrollment forcing us to make some of the decisions, it breaks my heart. Children need to be in the arts, and they're not going to start it in high school. They need to start it in piano lessons. They need to start it at 5, 6, 7 years old. They need to be doing this in elementary, where we're really putting the emphasis right now. We used to have huge choirs. We sent people all over the place. We had big bands. We were proud. It was awesome. I loved it. I was a band geek. End of story. So anything that you think is being done there is not being done lightly, and it hurts. As far as sports go, I was a player. I played 6th grade to my freshman year of college. I've coached here. I've sweat and bled on the fields with some of the kids that are in this room. I don't know what to tell you. We're working on it is all I got. I don't know what happened. I don't know where it went. So with that, I don't have a need for an exempt session. I'd take a motion for adjournment. As usual, if you guys need to talk about anything, we hit the parking lot. People have gotten my phone number. I've got no secrets here. So if you want to talk, we'll be outside.
A motion to adjourn.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.